Hey guys, it's Monday, and the last video I did on the truck was the slideshow video, and I guess doing the slideshow is worth the extra effort. Got a really good bunch of views, and they're still coming in, as a matter of fact, and a whole bunch of new subscribers, and thank you, appreciate it. So, if you like the content, like what you're seeing, hit the little subscribe button. I'm only 47 away from my Christmas goal of 2,000. So 2,000 plus would be the way to go. So yeah, spread the word, tell your buddies and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, today I'm going to do some wiring. First thing I'm going to sort out is all this crap running through the windshield opening. Clear all that up because, well, it's going to be tough to put the windshield in with all these wires sticking through the opening. So the first thing I'm going to do is disconnect the battery. I'm going to pull it out of there just so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm probably going to access the firewall from under the battery box, so it's kind of out of sight. Try and keep everything neat and clean, So yeah, I'm going to disconnect the battery, take it out, and then I'll start figuring out my ignition switch. I mean, I got everything where it needs to be right now, but I want to add on the keyed power for the accessories, and I can finish off my safety switch and my shifter. This white wire here is for my electric fan, so I just got to disconnect it from the switch, feed it through, and hook it back up. This one here is a temporary amp gauge. I wanted to see if this thing was charging, and it is. So that'll go to the gauge panel, and these three here are all part of the ignition setup. So yeah, I'll disconnect this, get the battery out, and then come back and we'll take it from there. Stick around. Alright, so I've taken the battery out and pulled the switch back through, disconnected what I have to. So anyway, here's the back of the switch. This big one here, that's your power. That's coming from the big post on the starter. So that powers up the whole switch. This one in the middle is the solenoid. So when you turn the key all the way over to start, or to run, and then on to start, that's what's triggering this. This is the one we're going to interrupt with the safety switch at the shifter. So, I'm not going to call it a neutral safety switch because it's not really a neutral safety switch. It's a park safety switch. So the truck will only start in park. But it won't start in gear. That's the main thing. So, having said that, if you're running down the road and you stall, you hit the start thing, put it in neutral, hit start, and it starts, and you get another 20 feet. There's a good chance that it's not anything to do with spark. It's probably gas. It's not getting fuel. Either fuel pump is or fuel filter is plugged. Fuel pump's not working, maybe you're sucking air somewhere, or maybe you're just out of freaking gas. So 9 times out of 10 you're going to pull over to the side of the road anyway, shut the truck off, and find out what the hell's going on. So I'm going to stick with the cheating solution, which is a park safety switch. Then this one here, where there's a couple of wires coming off of, that's your keyed power. So when you're in the on position, not start, just on, that livens up this post. This black wire here is going to my distributor, so I've got spark. And this blue wire is basically, it's running to this little switch here, and the white wire is running to my electric fan. So this blue wire is going to be replaced by the power wire for the accessories coming off of the panel, if that makes any sense. So when I run a wire from here, turn the key to the on position, it's going to go to the panel, the fuse panel, and then there's 3 or 4 accessory wires that are all going to be hot when it's in the run or on position. And I'm going to take one of those accessory wires, replace the blue wire on the switch, and that'll be my electric fan. I'm going to keep the switch. I'll just run the wire through here and get rid of this blue thing altogether. this is a temporary deal. So once I get all this straightened away, and I get a hole in here with a grommet and feed some wires through, etc., I should be able to finish all the wiring at the front of the truck and call it done up here. I'll still have a couple of accessory wires that'll be hot when I put the key in the on position, but I need those for, let's say you're going to run a radio, or in my case I'm going to run the dome light, the interior light off of it, and we'll see what else I need from there. But as it is right now, pretty straightforward and simple. I just gotta disconnect a bunch of wires, feed them through the firewall, put a grommet in there, some some wire loom, etc., clean everything up, make everything tidy, and then this thing will be ready to mount in the truck and good to go. So that's where I'm at, and yeah, I'm going to carry on. All right, so I disconnected all the wires from my ignition switch, so I'm going to put that aside. And so I've got 4 wires altogether going through the firewall on this side. So I've got my main power coming from the hot post on the starter. This is my solenoid. That's my electric fan. And then there's this black one. I don't know if I mentioned this one already. This one right here. It goes to the alternator. I had a temporary amp gauge set up in the inside of the truck, and because I wanted to see if this thing was charging. It is. So this will go to the dash, to the new gauge. So my only other thing to figure out was where I was going to enter the cab. So I was looking at this thing, and I'm thinking going up and underneath this flat spot here. It's an easy access to drill a hole from inside, and it'll bring my wires, you know, coming straight up, be tight to the inside of the firewall, out of the way of the toe boards and your feet and all that kind of stuff. And it should be pretty easy to hide everything and keep it nice and neat, and it'll keep things nice and clean down here as well. I'm going to go ahead, drill that hole, and get a grommet in there, and then we'll get feed wires through and get the loom in and all that stuff. Pain in the ass, slow going, but we'll get her done. Okay, so I'm gonna drill a hole to accept this grommet, right? Because that's the loom I'm going to be using. It fits perfectly in there. So I'm just going to drill a pilot hole and then use the step bit to open it up until I get to the desired size. So I'll go ahead and set up the camera, and we'll drill that hole. All right. Hopefully this bit's sharp enough. Not quite big enough yet. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't hitting anything or in danger of hitting anything. Not yet. Okay, I gotta clean that up and then we'll see if we can get that grommet in there. Alright, so I used my little mini grinder to clean the burrs up and stuff around the hole and got the grommet in, fed the loom through. So now I just gotta feed the wires up through there and take it from there. Hey, so that's the end result. You know, just one nice little clean wire. I ran it in behind the transmission dipstick. So like once the battery's in place, I mean, you're not going to see hardly anything. So yeah. Now the bigger of the red wires, I had to cut it because it had a taped up end and you know, it's too lumpy to get through the feed through the loom. I've got 4 wires running through that loom and it's full, it's packed. So that's all it'll take. You can't get more than 4 wires in there. So I'm gonna have to add on under the dash. I'll solder and shrink wrap everything and run things to where they're supposed to go. And we'll get to that in the next segment, I guess. So there you go. Under the hood though, nice and clean. Alright, so I did a bunch of stuff off camera here and show you real quick what I've got. So right now I did mount the a little safety switch. So this shifter right now is in reverse, I believe. So when I move the shifter into park, pushes the button in and completes the circuit. As soon as I take it out, that should break the circuit and the truck won't start. So it only starts at the park position. So I've got 2 wires here that are wrapped around the shifter right now. This one's going to go up to the ignition switch and it's already sticking through the hole. And then the other one's going to go from the other side of my switch back up and out and down to the solenoid. So yeah, we're just going to plug it in, one in each prong here, and that'll make the circuit complete. So throw it back at park. There we go. All I did here was a piece of threaded rod, kind of bent it after I put it in. It's lock washers and nuts on the inside and the outside. And I just bent it to shape, and then I put a little rubber cap on it and shrink wrapped it with some heat shrink stuff used for electrical. And that should keep the rubber pad on the end. That way it's not too hard on the switch. Should last a good long time. So anyway, I'll get in here and show you what, because I've run all the wires to where they gotta go. So I got 4 wires coming out of the hole where the ignition switch is gonna fit. The heavy red one, that's your power from the battery. This smaller red one is the solenoid. So this one's going to go down to my switch on the shifter, right? And then link up and go the other way down to the solenoid. This dark one, the brown one, this one is to the distributor. So I want to turn the key in the on position. We've got spark and the truck will run. And this one here livens up the accessory wires. So yeah, there. So it goes to the fuse panel, and then out of the fuse panel there's 3 wires that'll become hot when you put the key in the on position. So basically 1 wire will get you 3 is what's going on there, and for radio or whatever. So yeah, I got to put all my well, trim the length for one thing, and put connectors on everything, the ends, and just, you know, use the nuts and put it on the ignition switch. Put the ignition switch in the hole, tighten it up, and done. I need connectors on the end to excuse me, to clip into the either side of the switch. and then just tidy things up. There was another black wire that I had fed through, see if you can, through there. That black wire is going to the dash for the amp gauge in a one cluster. So I think I have to add on to that one. It's a little bit short. So I'll solder and extend that one. And yeah, just tidy things up for the most part. Oh, Jesus, did I swallow a fly or what? And then this mess down here, it looks a lot worse than it is. Most of it's just got to be trimmed and tidied up, and a couple of quick connections. I need 2 indicator lights, one here and one on the other side for signal lights. It's nice to have the flash on the dash as well as outside, so you have your signal on. So yeah, we've got that, and the gauges. So we're moving along. It's fine. All right, so there you go. That's all the ignition circuit, the safety switch, the electric fan up front. So everything pretty much in the from the cab forward, as far as wiring is concerned, is done. Rough in anyway. It's all there. Wires are in the boxes and to the headlights and all that stuff. So we're good to go there. Like I said, I got a little bit of stuff to do inside the cab. Indicator lights on the dash. And then the rest pretty much is the gauge setup. The gauges are really nice. They should be for the money. But one thing they don't have is any of the sockets for the backlighting. To light up the back of the gauge. All the sockets, they're not included. So I can see what I got that'll fit those. And I'm gonna need a bunch of bulbs and stuff like that. And I gotta run a speedometer cable. I've got to run oil pressure gauge, so I'm going to need the sender for that, and the temperature gauge. So the temperature gauge, I believe, is complete with the gauge package. I just got to screw it in. So yeah, light sockets. I guess there'd be probably 4 or 3 lights on one gauge and 2 in the other, I believe. Something like that, and they're all going to run on when the headlights come on, so I know which wire that is. So I just got to tap into that. Actually, there's a spot on the switch I can use, so on the headlight switch, so when you turn on the headlights, the dash lights up, and that's what we want. Yeah, so all good. Now I've got all those wires cleaned up and not running through the windshield opening, so I can go ahead and put my windshield in. Nothing stopping me from doing that other than I'm afraid, but it's a bit I know what I went through in the back glass, then the front glass. Well, that's definitely going to be an extra set of hands on that, and I'll have to be super careful with that. But whatever, it is what it is. It's got to get done. Yeah, if you're wondering, it's been a week since I put out a video. And it's because I kind of came out of retirement for a couple of different buddies to do some carpentry work. One was a house, a new house, and had to be trimmed out, hang all the doors, casing, and then went back and did the baseboards. So that was a few days. And, got to pay bills too, right? So especially this time of year, bills add up quick. And, Christmas and all that crap. And then the second job was just one day giving a buddy a hand with his ceiling. He was putting some kind of a paneling deal up on the ceiling, and I traded that off for some tires. And I got the 2 back tires for this truck, and I got another 2 tires for the back of my square body. So all I need for this one now are 2 new 14-inch tires for the front. Here's the back ones here. You can see them. There you go. Brand spanking new. So, for a day's work, got 4 brand new tires. Tires are not cheap, and so it was a good day for me. And yeah, so I should be back on track now, because I've had it with carpentry for another 5 years at least. I did it for too long, that's all. I mean, 40 years pretty much of swinging hammers and stuff, and just no interest in it anymore. But it is what it is. Whereas, you know, I can stay out here and work on this thing for 12, 14 hours straight, and it doesn't bother me at all. Ask me to put up some trim in my own house, you know, 2 hours worth of work, and I'm bitchy. So, so the wife doesn't even ask anymore. But anyway, I got to get stuff like that done anyhow, but whatever. That's got nothing to do with cars, and that's what we talk about here. So, yeah, new subscribers, a real good bunch. I'm only 6 away from 2,000, so I'm pretty confident it's going to happen within the next few days. And then, you know, after 2,000, what comes after that? 10,000? I don't know. But anyway, let's keep on rolling. And if you subscribed already, thank you. And if you haven't, please subscribe. You know, still got 55 to 60% of my viewers are non-subscribers. So, you know, just click on the button. It's painless. Honest, it's painless. Costs nothing, and it'll do me a world of good in my confidence department. So, yeah. And if you're not doing anything else, well, get out in the garage and build something, man. Later, guys.